Welcome to the Reel It Back podcast. I'm your host, Rachel McFeelingood. Well, we sure have a lot to celebrate. Very first episode, here we are. Just taking a look around and everything is all right. I have this beautiful view I would get to wake up to, and this gear that I've spent years hoping for, wishing to have in my possession, and it's right in front of me. So I'm super grateful. Today I turned 28 years old. I'm also grateful for that. I've been reflecting a lot lately, and it's been a hell of a ride. So was 27, turned 28 today. 27 was a very transformative year, and I remember a year and 3 weeks ago, I moved back to Kansas City, and Kansas City is home for me, so moving back home was a good decision, and it really helped me get on the path that I felt like I needed to go on, and I've been able to pursue a lot of passions since coming home, and I'm just excited to be here. I've been doing makeup. I did a little bit of a birthday glam today. And I spent all Labor Day with my guitarist / producer, Thorin. He helped me set this up for hours on Labor Day, just so we could get ready for this birthday broadcast. So, and we're here, and it's awesome. So, thank you so much for tuning in. This is going to be a test for us both. I have radio experience, but, when you're doing everything yourself and running the board yourself and not the best at technology, I'm not super tech savvy. I can do enough to get me by, but, So we're going to figure this out together, but I appreciate you tuning in. I wanted to do this broadcast because I wanted to reflect a little bit more and talk about life lessons that I've learned in my 28 years living here on planet Earth. And I can tell you there's a huge difference between 25 and 28. That gap just right there. There's just been so many years lived. There's so much, life lived in between 25 and 28. So I kind of wanted to go through that list with you and hope that you find this list relatable and that it does light a fire inside you, because I'm a very passionate person, and I hope that comes off well. And, I'm just a big believer in going after what you want in life. So starting with number 1, invest in yourself. Some of these I'm not going to go into too much detail. I just take it for what it is. Some of it is self-explanatory. Invest in yourself. 2, people won't understand your journey. It's not for them. Sometimes you waste a lot of energy trying to explain what you want to do, and it's just, I feel like it's, you're not making a lot of progress trying to make sense to people that are only in their way of thinking. Like, they are just so stuck in their way of thinking. So if you have a plan for what you want to do, then go after it. Do your research, but go after what you want. Number 3, it is possible to lose the weight. Yeah. This time last year, I was 30 pounds heavier. Man, it was hard. And I came back home, and I'm sure it was a situational depression. So yeah, gained some weight over COVID and lost it. So I gained a little bit back, but weight loss is a journey, and I'm not going to let that stop me from wearing what I want, and definitely not going to let it stop me from doing what I want to do. So it is possible to lose the weight, and it's also possible to feel good about the size you are now. I look in the mirror, and nothing really says, ugh, I usually just see it in pictures. I got, I'm human. There's some things I would love to change. I see that I have flaws. But overall, I know I am a beautiful person, inside and out. That you call it cocky, but it's taken a while to build up this confidence, and confidence is a skill. And I'll get to that later. Yeah, number 5, wear whatever you feel good in. Yeah. I've had a lot of luck with my plus size, and I love what looks good on me. I love different, out there stuff. Try not to go for the neutrals. I'm not basic. I'm very extra, as they call it. So, if you couldn't tell. Number 6, you finally have the courage to go after everything you've wanted. I made this list pretty quick, but, maybe over a course of a week, I've kind of gone and visited back and forth. Have the courage to go after what you want. Sorry for all the sirens that you probably hear. The mic will probably pick it up. That's downtown living for you. Number 7, you're only limited to how big you think. Number 8, be a shining light for others. I can't tell you, just taking the back seat on things is not going to be the most, beneficial for you. So if you feel like you can influence a room, do that in a positive way. Number 9, show kindness even if the kindness isn't showing in the world. And I used to get so discouraged when I wouldn't see people do what I thought they should do. And you can't control other people. You can just control what you can do. So I try to be kind wherever I go. I try to smile. Sometimes the RBF comes through. I'm so sorry. I'm a nice person. I think so. Hopefully most of my interactions have been that way and they feel that way about me. But show up in the world and show kindness. What are we at? 10. So that was number 9. Number 10, people are too busy worrying about their own situations in life than what you were doing with yours. That took me a while. I used to be so stuck in my head about what people thought of me, even being more plus size when I gained a bunch of weight, especially after high school. But I kind of reached a point, I'm almost 30, where I don't really care anymore. I'm still doing what I enjoy doing, and everything in life is progress, and it's adaptable. So, yeah, but people are going through it, and a lot of people are in survival mode. So they're not even really thinking about what you're doing with your life. They're still trying to figure out what they're going to do with theirs. So hopefully that's relatable there. 11, never let people pressure you into a life you don't want to live. How can I explain this one? For me, I've never done the traditional route. I've, I have come from a family of immigrants, and, my grandma's from Cuba and my grandfather is from Mexico. They came here legally, and I'll definitely share more on that because it's a very interesting story. But Mom was born and raised here, and they believe in hard work and, the United States of America opportunity. So the American dream. And they've always told me to get a good job, get good benefits, and, it wasn't until recently that they've been kind of seeing that that's not the path I really want to go down. I want to do the entrepreneurial route, and I feel like I've always been that way. I don't know. It's just hard to be in a box where you don't fit. I'm still young, so that could be the case. I'm just going to give it my all, trying the entrepreneurial route, and hope, crossing fingers, that things work out for me. So, but that's all I can really hope for is really going after it and giving it my all, because this is what I want to do, and I'm here doing it. So it's amazing. Okay, so that was 11. Number 12, if you want to change the trajectory of your life, embrace these rules and apply them. Commitment is what gets you started. Consistency is what gets you somewhere, and persistence is what keeps you going. I'll be honest, I've struggled with commitment. There's times like with the weight loss journey, I am like dead set. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm not going to fail this time. I even tried doing 75 hard, and I'm going to do another podcast on that, or another episode on that. But I failed on day 5, and I took it so hard. But that, in that 5-day time frame, I learned so much about myself. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff I have to work on. But being more disciplined, that's something I definitely want to do. And having your own podcast, you really have to stay consistent. Especially when you get some listenership and a fan base, you want to stay consistent and deliver a quality product to your listeners. So commitment, consistency, and persistence. Number 13, don't be afraid to pursue everything you love. Number 14, speak it into existence. I'm a big believer in that. Been on a spiritual journey lately. I'm definitely going to get into more of these further this podcast progresses. So, number 15, love everyone in your life deeply and let them know often. Yeah. I hope my family and friends know that I absolutely love them and I adore them, and I feel so loved all the time. And I'm just super grateful for everybody I have in my circle. And I've made so many great memories, and I feel like a lot of people are in my corner, and I feel very supported. So I appreciate everybody in my circle and my family. And I think when you reach a certain age, you really start to appreciate that. And so thank you, everybody. Don't want to go too deep. I only got so much time. But yeah, love everyone deeply and let them know often. Number 16, spend more time in nature. As a Virgo, I'm an earth sign. That's something I needed to do recently, and I think that helped me so much because living in the city, I don't really get a whole lot of nature. I try to go for walks, but I went to Oregon for a family reunion, and I went somewhere where there was no cell service, and the closest airport was about 4 hours, a little over 4 hours, and just being in the mountains, it was an experience I will never forget, and I need to do that at least once a year. So definitely spend more time in nature because I reconnected with my soul. Yeah. That's the best I could say about that. Okay, spend more time in nature. Number 17, document your progress. This will help you keep you motivated. I 100% stand by that. 18, designing a meaningful life you love is possible, but doing what you love won't make life any easier. It will just make you more disciplined and more joyful. Yes. Number 19, learn to manage your money and invest so that you can enjoy things with a less worrisome mind. Now, that is something I am still learning. Investing in stocks and funds, all that, I'm still learning how to do. I'd love to have somebody on the podcast that knows a little bit more about it than I do. I have several books on investing, and it does interest me. Finance in general does interest me. I like to think I'm fairly good with money and money management, and but you could always be better, you know. Definitely a skill I'm going to try to cultivate in the coming years. Well, I should just do it now. What am I saying? But I'm not doing too bad in that department, so but always could be better. Number 20. As a lifelong people pleaser, don't be afraid to say no. I struggled with this. For the longest time, I had a slogan called Yes Woman, and that was after the movie Yes Man. And it's with Jim Carrey, if you haven't seen it. And it's with a guy that Jim Carrey plays a character where he doesn't like to do anything. He's get invited out everywhere, and he goes to this seminar where they always have to say yes, no matter what it is. They have to say yes to everything. And it's supposed to help with like experiences, like you can't say no. And, that was my slogan for my life for a few years, where I was just like, yes, woman. Every time I get invited out to go to a concert, I'm there. If I get invited to go to Lawrence and I have to be at work at 6 a.m, I'll be up until 2 a.m. I'm going to go. Yes. But you reach a certain age where you cannot put so much on your plate because it will eat away at you. So learn to say no. And you can make certain obligations and prioritize. So that's one of the life lessons I've definitely learned is don't be afraid to say no if it's not something you want to do. 21, confidence is a skill you learn and it will get you far. I think that speaks for itself. Confidence is a skill. To be sitting in front of the camera, that's a skill I definitely had to learn. Be comfortable on air, performing. It took me so long to get not just comfortable behind a mic, but to be on stage and entertain people. If you don't know, I sing in a wedding band, and I still, look at the lyrics, but I come to realize that I'm very confident in my ability to entertain, and there's nothing else I would rather be doing. So. Number 22, be intentional with your time. Yes. I took a time management course. I'm not going to say I'm always disciplined with my time. Sometimes I find myself that I'm scrolling mindlessly. I'm trying to not do that as much because there's just so much I want to do in life. Because I remember the good times and when I was, a kid and I didn't have a phone. I was actually one of the last people pretty much in my grade to have a phone, and I had the bulky Nokia phone. Oh my gosh. But yeah, sometimes I just turn my phone off and I just want to enjoy silence and be still. That's something I'm definitely trying to do more of. Number 23, you are doing better than you think you are. We are our own worst critics. For sure. That's all I can really say on that is you are doing better than you think you are, so don't be so hard on yourself. Number 24, you have an opportunity to leave an impact wherever you are. Make sure it's a positive one. I said that earlier, but if you enter a room, I'm sure you feel an energy shift. You can usually feel tension if something's going on, There's been times where I walked into a job that I was not happy with, and just faking a smile. When I say faking a smile, just smiling releases endorphins. And I tested this theory for 2 weeks. And this was at a restaurant job, not anything recent that I've had. But, I was struggling, and I would just smile as hard as I could before I walked in that door, and I ended up having a better day. You could try it, test it out, let me know how it goes. But try to be a good influence in the room you walk into. Number 25, energy is a currency. Make sure you are spending it wisely. Now that I'm older, I'm very affected by other people's energy. I pick up on it. I'm definitely an empath. And I know who I want to be around and who gives me energy. Like, that sounds weird, but that one's kind of hard to explain. That's definitely more for a spiritual podcast, but that is something I heavily believe is be mindful of where you spend your energy. So yeah, think of it as money. 26, learn to be flexible, adaptable, and ready to learn. And it kind of goes hand in hand with 27. Continue being a student of life. There's always something to learn. Yeah. Sorry, I hear a truck going by. And finally, number 28 It is life is what you make it because the reality you experience is a direct reflection of the quality of your thoughts. Um, that's what I personally believe. Life is what you make it. And currently, I'm sitting in what I pursued, what I was persistent about, and I'm going to work on the consistency thing. This is what I am passionate about. This is what I see myself doing. I know I'm meant for being an entertainer of some sort. And if you're struggling on what your path is, like think of what your inner child would want. Like what did you enjoy as a kid? And that's something I was recently doing too, is figuring out what I used to love, which was always singing. And going to the park. I've been going to the park more. And I love going on drives. Luckily, the gas prices are getting better. But anyway, I hope those are good takeaways. Thanks for sticking with me on this if you've made it this far. I know there's some cringy moments for it being the first episode, but we're going to learn as we go. So, 28th birthday, we made it. 28 life lessons that I can think of right on my list here. But if you have any more, please let me know. What are some other good takeaways and some advice that you would love to give to other people, other listeners? And well, I'm going to go enjoy a wonderful birthday dinner with my family. And I'm excited to finally get this thing rolling. This is the birthday broadcast, the very first episode of the Reel It Back podcast. And I'm your host, Rachel McFeelinggood. Until the next time, have a great one. Bye.